It's wintertime. Everybody's been asking for soup recipes, so we made soup.
Minestrone soup.
Now, minestrone in Italian just means like soup. It means to serve. So there's a lot of different ways to make it. This is a plant-based version that I came up with that actually is just really, really simple and really, really tasty. It doesn't require a million ingredients, but there's several ingredients, but nothing weird. You should be able to buy everything at your grocery store, no problem.
We're going to start with a medium carrot.
We don't peel our carrots. We scrub them real good with a brush. And then, just chop off the nasty bits that nobody wants to eat anyway. And you want this to be like a rustic chop. But I have an idea. I'm going to cut this into sections about like that. And then these guys, they're a little thicker. I'm going to cut that in half. And then that's kind of big. I'm going to cut that in half. And I'll cut each of those in half. So that was what, like 12 seconds? Because
Probably
now,
spent more time saying what you're doing
yeah, I know,
than doing
right.
it.
Because now it's time to put it in a chopper. I love this thing. I got it for Christmas, and I never thought I would want something like this.
He actually saw it advertised a lot.
Merle O'Neill used it, and she sold me on it.
Yeah.
I got to give her some credit.
He decided if it was good enough for Merle, I got to give it a try.
I saw like 4 other people use it, and then I saw her using it, and she talked about it a little bit. I was like, all right, I got to try one. I got one for Christmas. Her brother got it for me. So anyway, I cut them about that big, so that's the thickness of them. And then I just like line them in here. It doesn't say it works with carrots, but it does. You just have to get a little violent, like that. But check that out. I mean, that's like the perfect sized dice. And that's what I like for soup, is consistent sizes, because that way they cook evenly.
This device also has different attachments for different chopping sizes.
Yep, this one has a spiralizer too that you got to do by hand, which I thought was a little strange. But hey, just like that, we got carrots. What's next?
Next is a full rib of celery. We
Ours was
chop our
wimpy.
celery in half because of our storage container. So we just,
And I'm chopping off the nasty bits yet again. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says chop off the nasty bits. 'Cause I just think that would be funny.
Speaking of t-shirts, a commenter asked if the Make Choices Not Excuses t-shirt could be added to the shop. I did so. So both of the shirts that we are wearing today are custom designs by me that you can get in our shop if you want to.
Yep, that's right. We don't have sponsored ads. We are the sponsored ad. The merchandise actually helps keep the channel afloat. Also, any of the links that are in our videos, if you buy something through Amazon or whatever through those, they help the channel out too. We get a little commission off of that at no extra cost to you. Also, celery in the chopper. I'm not even doing it right now. I was doing it so much better. I sounded like Schwarzenegger the other day.
He was so proud.
Now I'm not doing it because this funny thing happens. You can do something a million times, turn a camera on, all of a sudden you can't do it. But you see how simple this is, right?
And I don't want to go on about it too much, but another thing that we found surprisingly delightful about this is container.
Yeah.
It has a built-in
I
container.
have a tendency to fling stuff all over the place when I'm cooking, and that prevents me from doing it. What's the next thing I need?
Next up is half of a medium onion.
Now define medium. I can't. It's about like that. Looks smaller than a baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like 3 inches or so.
So this is a yellow onion?
This is
Or is this a white
This
onion?
is considered yellow. White is like a Spanish onion. They're a little spicier. You could use red if you really want to. I actually like to use white onions or
Yellow.
I like to use yellow onions for most of my cooking needs.
Yeah.
By the way,
Put it in the chopper.
half an onion. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Saved seconds of my life. Just like that. But I just like it. It works so well.
All right.
Few
so-
things that are that way work that well. Let's just say that.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the extent of our prep for this soup.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So we're going to just dump all of that into our pot.
Okay. Now, just like in our one pot pasta, where we didn't actually cook or pre-cook any of the veggies, I don't do it for soups either, because you know what? It doesn't actually do anything. We're not looking to brown them. It's like, oh, you're supposed to cook them until the onions go translucent. Why? They're going to go translucent anyway. Okay, what's next?
Next up is fresh ground black pepper.
As much as you want. I probably have half a teaspoon or something written on the thing.
We tend to be heavy-handed on it because I really like black pepper.
Yeah, she's a pepper addict. It's a thing.
Wouldn't
There's
you
a
like to
support
be a
group
pepper
and
too?
everything. That's what you need. I'm a pepper addict. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I think we might get sued for that one.
Probably.
We're looking for fun slogans for t-shirts and stuff, by the way. So, if you have any ideas, leave them below. And keep it like PG.
And nice.
And nice.
We're nice.
Yeah.
All right. That's good for now. I can always add later. Mm-hmm. Next up is garlic. We cheat and buy the pre-minced garlic. If you want to go through the hassle of dealing with real garlic, this is real garlic.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
The real reason why we use this is real garlic.
Yeah.
The real reason we use the pre-chopped garlic is because I hate peeling garlic. It sticks to my fingers. I have a thing about sticky fingers.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Can I have the tablespoon, please?
So we used to buy a bunch of garlic, and then I would
How much is it?
1 tablespoon.
One
minced
tablespoon of minced garlic. Look at me using a spoon because I needed a spoon anyway. 1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. So it's going to be
that's like a tablespoon. There you go.
But yeah, I used to buy the bulk garlic and then peel it all. That was like my afternoon chore. Put it in a paper bag and then put that in the fridge.
Even that got to be.
And it's annoying.
Yeah. Why?
All
Keep it
right.
simple.
Next up is a can of crushed tomatoes. This is 28 ounces, and we prefer the no salt added version.
Yeah, this has 15 milligrams of salt in a quarter cup, and there's 13 servings. So all of it, right in. Kind of like making pasta so far.
And then our other liquid that we're going to use primarily for this is our veggie broth made from kitchen scraps.
I wrote 1 to 2 cups. Use 2 cups. Make life easy.
And so he's going to pour that into his can to get every little bit out.
Waste not, want not. You paid for it. Somebody pointed out that I do that a lot. And yeah, because I see a lot of people, not people making videos, but anybody that cooks, I see so much waste. And I just never understood that. I mean, why bother cooking and being careful about what you're cooking and then waste even 5% of what you made or bought? See? Clean can. All the rest goes in. Yeah, this is our broth from scraps, which is, I'm going to say, in my opinion, it's the best tasting veggie broth I've ever had.
It's really good.
It just
And it makes
comes out.
the house smell delightful.
It really does.
All right. Next up is a cup of cut green beans. We're using frozen, so we're going to add them right now.
We are finding that there's a lot of frozen veggies that are better than regular. And green beans are another one of those. They're a pain in the butt because you have to snip the ends. Then you got to trim them down to bite size. When you get them frozen, they're already done. In they go. And they don't taste any different than the fresh ones. Plus, they don't actually have to cook as long because they're already kind of like blanched.
And they're not going to go bad in your refrigerator if you accidentally forget to cook them right away.
Not that we're speaking from experience.
All right, let's get some herbage in here. Thyme and oregano. We're going to do a teaspoon each.
I'm not measuring. You can never have enough time, but it's a teaspoon. The thing with cooking is this, it's kind of to taste. If something that I was going to add could really mess up the dish by doing too much or too little, I would say so. But the things that I measure are usually the important things, or like in the case of the garlic, I needed a utensil to get it out. So otherwise I'd use half that jar of garlic. I just dump the whole thing in there. It's all good. All right. Next.
Speaking of things that are to taste, we're going to add some crushed red pepper. If you don't like spicy food, then you can leave this out. But the little bit that we're going to add really doesn't make it spicy. It just pumps up the flavor a little bit.
Thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I put a little pinch into a lot of dishes like this. I put it in every red sauce that I make, even if it's not meant to be spicy. You see, that's like 2 pinches.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to point something out. This makes like 2 to 3 really nice big bowls of soup.
Yeah.
When I calculated it out, 2 servings of this, each serving was like 435 or 450 calories. I'll put the macros up here, but unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It was
how much you can eat of this.
Hearty and delicious. Yeah. And you certainly aren't going to leave hungry. Nutritional yeast.
Okay.
Yes, we repurposed a basil container to put our nutritional
Yeah,
yeast.
hey, repurpose containers. Why throw them away?
Again, waste not, want not.
The reason nutritional yeast is in here is because in traditional minestrone, a lot of times they might use Parmesan cheese and things like that. Plus, it's an umami thing. I like to just add that extra, what is it, like 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons.
Yeah, so, about 2 tablespoons or so. I use it as a topping on top of it later too, just so you know. But it does actually thicken it ever so slightly because it is a little bit of a thickener, but it really does add a richness and even that little bit of the cheesy flavor like a Parmesan.
Our final ingredient, at least for now, is something that I've joked about before that isn't all Italian food, and that is soy sauce.
I never claimed this was an Italian minestrone. This is let's be honest, most Italian food came from Asia anyway. So
you're gonna throw the gauntlet this soon?
Well, it did. It did. Almost all Italian food originated in Asia. I'm sorry, it just did. How much do I need?
Soy sauce, 1 tablespoon.
Okay, this is your salt and another umami boost. So, yeah, about a tablespoon. It always drips down the side. I don't know why.
Soy sauce containers are the messiest containers.
Yeah. That's why we keep paper towels right there. That's not really why, but it's convenient.
I think they'd make a better container by now.
They need to do it like the maple syrup container. It has like a little rim. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful container.
Now, grab your spoonula or a spoon or a spatula or whatever utensil you want. Just give this a good stir. Just mix it up because there's all sorts of stuff floating at the top there and you don't want to do that. By the way, this pot is entirely too big for this soup, but it's okay.
It comes to like
Yeah,
there.
it's literally full to like here.
Now, if you're cooking this recipe for more than 2 people, simply multiply the ingredients by how many people you need to add.
Well, by how many more servings? Like I say, this is 2 to 3 servings. If you want 4 to 6 servings, then you double it, that kind of thing.
And yes, we are not done with this.
Oh, no.
This is just what's going to be cooking at this moment.
This is part A. So if I wasn't talking and we weren't recording this and we weren't trying to explain it to everybody, this is 5 minutes to start this up. But I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to bring it up to a boil and then bring it down to like low. Let it simmer for about an hour. We'll be back then. I realized right after I shut the camera off, cover it while it comes to a boil and let it simmer covered. That way you don't lose too much more of your liquid because otherwise you just got to add more broth anyway. And well, what's the point of that? I mean, an argument could be made that it does add more concentrated flavors, but you know what? I don't want to lose anything to evaporation this time. So just keep a lid on it. Okay, an hour has passed and our soup is looking really good. A little bit of a simmer going here, but all those veggies should now be nice and soft. So it's time to start adding the rest of the soup. My recipe calls for a cup of spinach, but see, there's just a little bit left in that bag. So it's like a little over a cup. Next is a whole can of cannellini beans. We drained and rinsed those. And 4 ounces of your favorite little pasta shape. This one happens to be ditalini. It's like perfect for soups. But rotini or penne work as well. Even elbow macaroni would work. And I want to mix that all together. I'm going to try to get that spinach under the liquid. And I know it looked like a lot of spinach, but you know what? When it all cooks in there, you won't even really notice the spinach so much. But your body will with all the nutrition it has. Sorry, had to do it. Okay, I'm going to put this on low heat. I'm going to put the lid back on. Let it go for 20 to 30 minutes. All right, and after that 20 to 30 minutes, our soup is ready to go. And, you can always put a little topping on top of soups, right? We have our shaky cheese. Actually works really, really nicely. I'm working on a new recipe for that, by the way. But I just like a little nutritional yeast, a little extra protein, a little extra umami. Just a nice little topping.
We're going to be all obnoxious and share a spoon.
Because we're married. The moment of truth.
Now, normally, I would actually feed Brian because
really that hot?
we're obnoxious, but I'm just going to eat it to be polite. Is that polite? I'm not sure if that's polite.
Yeah, just eat it. I block out the chewing noises, so it's okay. Got to get a little bit of everything. A good spoon sample. There we go. It's just good. I mean, it's hearty, it's filling, it's nice and warm. It's the middle of winter, or I'll eat this in July, and I live in Florida, okay?
Yeah.
Just saying. I just love soups like this.
This is fantastic by itself. Just eat bowls and bowls of it until you roll into bed or whatever. You can also pair it with a salad if you're looking for something fresh to go with it. But our favorite pairing is a nice slice of toasted bread.
Let's talk storage options. This freezes really, really nicely.
Just don't put the pasta in.
No, you can freeze it that way, but you don't want to leave it in the fridge with the pasta in because the pasta swells up. Now, I don't mind it so much, but after like 2-3 days, those pasta pieces are really, really big and they soak up all the liquid. You might want to add a little bit more liquid. I like my soup more on the stew side than soup style. We call it stew, okay? But you can put this in the fridge. The trick is don't put the pasta in. Cook the pasta separately and just add the pasta to your bowl. That way you can make this last a while longer. Freezing it, though, should be okay because once it cools down, the pasta won't really absorb anymore once it's frozen. So it should be just fine. But make some soup. And minestrone, I mean, how can you go wrong? And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.